Like awful, yes. Like very awkward. Watching that back, like it made me cringe often because there's like these deep laughs that I had that I was actually laughing internally at myself being like, man, you're gonna look like an idiot from this.
Judge, I love you too.
What?
Which set up the most dramatic and emotional ending in Bachelor history.
In order to let myself fully love one woman, I have to say goodbye to the other.
I am joined now by the 20th Bachelor, Ben Higgins. Ben, you watched it back. How was it?
I didn't want to watch it at all. And I actually convinced myself I wasn't going to. And then I couldn't help myself. And I got through the first half and skipped around on the second half because I really wanted to see Olivia and our conversation and see how that kind of played out for her. It was really hard to watch. And I don't want to over dramatize. Like, it was really embarrassing and awkward.
Why?
I just had seen so many moments. One, you have to watch yourself like kissing people. It's not fun either way. Like, I don't encourage anybody to film it and then we'll try to watch it back 4 years later. You don't even know those people anymore. The next was, I noticed moments where I was trying to be cool or smooth, or I thought I was cool or smooth. I wasn't even trying to be. I was like, I am. It doesn't come off good, especially knowing myself and knowing that internally I was just questioning everything. So it was just embarrassing. But
Well, I gotta ask, what moments were you trying to be cool?
Because you didn't see any that I was that cool, right? Thanks.
No, because you succeeded so much at being so cool. You're known as the coolest Bachelor.
Yeah.
Cool throughout, but what moments could you reveal to the people that were attempts at being cool?
The first one I'd like to start with is I'd like to get on Chris Harrison a bit because I really think he set me up for failure, and I want to tell you why. We all knew that I was definitely not going to be the smoothest, most comfortable Bachelor of all time. This was going to take me a while to kind of get used to. So the very first date of the season gets set up with Kevin Hart and Ice Cube driving me around Los Angeles, sitting in the back seat. So here I am with my date. They're hilarious, making me laugh the whole time, making her laugh the whole time. Like, I'm trying to keep up. And I remember in my mind just saying, the less you say, the better this will go, because you're never going to keep up with these two.
I remember that because there are always hot tub dates on Bachelor and Bachelorette. Yeah. You had a hot tub date on your first date, and it was indoors in a hot tub store.
Like awful, yes. Like very awkward. Watching that back, it made me cringe often because there's these deep laughs that I had that I was actually laughing internally at myself being like, man, you're gonna look like an idiot from this.
What does that sound like? Can you do that laugh for me?
And then it just dies. It dies off real fast. And it's just this awkward giggle.
So you were not so cool on that first date. Looking back, do you even know that guy? Have you changed a lot since that guy?
I haven't changed a lot. I've just owned now the fact that I'm not that cool. And enjoy it. So I think if I was the Bachelor today and I did the whole thing over again, I think there would still be many moments that I'd be embarrassed by or feel have to look through my fingers at. But I do think I would own my lack of coolness more.
Well, but that's the thing about the show, right? Is it in many ways helps you figure out who you are. So many leads have said that to me, that it's a little bit like therapy. You look at yourself really, really closely.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I don't think it's weird. I'll tell you something I didn't want to tell you. Last night at dinner, somebody asked me, one of my best friends, could you picture your life without doing the show? And I don't know why. I consider you a friend. I'm a weird dude. I get really emotional over weird stuff. I start tearing up, and I don't know why. I don't have that much of an emotional connection to the show anymore. I have an amazing fiance. A lot of my life doesn't focus around any of the show, except I was hosting a traveling Bachelor show, but that's a whole other story.
I was gonna say, you did have a job with it, but okay.
It's almost scary for me to think of what my life would have been. This show has been so good to me, and it's taught me so much about myself, and it's enhanced the experiences. It's allowed me to meet new people and be in new relationships. I don't think I'm with my fiance now if the show doesn't happen, just because of random circumstances. So yes, it taught me a lot, and it's been really good for me and really fun to celebrate that from the show re-airing, going, yeah, I'm 26, I'm trying to figure it out, and now look, I'm still trying to figure it out, but this was a part of that story, and it's been really fun to see back.
So I have to ask, Jess is somebody you met long after the show. I know that she's been wonderful about embracing all the opportunities and life that the show has brought you and that you've come with, but did Jess watch this back with you?
No shot.
Has she ever seen your season?
Nope,
Okay.
No plans to. So here's something about Jess that is amazing, and she has had some really traumatic life experiences. She's been through some stuff personally and in relationships, but she's never been heartbroken romantically. That's not a part of her story. And as Jess and I kind of talked about it, like, hey, are there pieces of the show you want to watch? Do you want to watch Caitlin's season? I would be nervous. I don't see the benefit, and I don't think she does either. I think the cons far outweigh the pros. I think there would be a chance where, even though it wouldn't, I have no fear that it would end our relationship. I think that small moments of watching me pursue and encourage and kiss other people might be the closest thing to like heartbreak that she's felt romantically, and I don't want to be a part of that. She doesn't want me to be a part of that. So no, she's not watching. She doesn't plan on watching ever, and I'm pretty okay with it.
Ben, I love you.
I love you too.
That's crazy.
JoJo, I love you too.
What?
My boo.
Are you allowed to say that?
I have no idea.
This is a tough question, but I also had to wonder and ask you if that decision is in part because of what you went through before. Because look, you're the Bachelor who said I love you to two women. And I know that when you and Lauren were together, I interviewed you guys a lot, and you and her had to watch back you telling JoJo, I love you. So did you already feel like you went through this experience of having to be with the woman you're with and watch what was pretty painful?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yes. There's a lot of like correlation. Now, I do think the fundamentals to my relationship with Jessica are stronger. I think that there is an understanding that, we could get through this and be really good. And I don't know if Lauren and I ever wanted actually to get through it. I think we were kidding ourselves if we say we were. But I do remember those moments of trying to explain myself or thinking, hey, this is all good. We're going to watch this back because I chose you and this is going to be fine, right? And it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And it hurt deeply. And I know why it did. It was a mistake I made to over-communicate. I don't even know if I want to call it a mistake. It was a decision I made to over-communicate that ended up hurting the relationship I was in. And I would not even want to risk doing that again right now.
When you say you don't know if you and Lauren even wanted to get through it, what does that mean?
Well, I think pretty early on, I don't know how long now looking back, I think we both realized that this probably, especially now, Lauren's married. I'm assuming it's a really good relationship. I don't know the insides of it. I am engaged in what I consider a really healthy and positive relationship. I've seen what that looks like, how that feels, how that operates, how it encourages, how it expands life and not contracts it. Like, I do think Lauren and I very early on were just trying so hard to make it work that it was just pulling pieces of us all the time.
I think the older we get, we look back on our relationships, and you reflected on this in the special and talked about what you learned from it and how important it was to go through those things to get to where you are. What do you call those I love yous now? Like, when you look back and as you watch it back, did you watch saying I love you to JoJo? Did you watch that moment?
Yeah, yes, I did.
I remember that moment, Ben. Well, because you see the look in her face. She says, what? Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah.
What was that like to watch back? Are you sweating right now? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't like that. Watching it back, how did it feel? I felt pain. Like, I felt sorry. I was sorry for JoJo watching it back. Not because, again, JoJo's great. This all ends so well, and so we celebrate where this ends up. But in the moment, the damage done was on me. And I watch that and I see your face and I know how it feels, and I was sorry that I did that to somebody. My intentions were good. I really do believe that. My intentions were to make everybody know that just how personal, how much I cared, and how hard this was, so that, no matter what it ended up with, at the end, like, people had an idea of how we got there and that it was real. I just over communicated. I said things that weren't wise. I spoke before I thought, and I see that look in her eye, and I don't believe it did hopefully take a piece of her, but I know what it feels like to be heartbroken, and I know what it feels like to feel like you have something so special coming your way, and then to have it ripped from you. And I hope that didn't damage JoJo. I don't know if it did, but I know she's good now, and I know she's happy now. So, not fun to see. I forget the original question. All I remember is like it kind of.
You're like, I'm stuck in that now.
Yeah, it's just like really hard to watch back. It hurt.
So when you're watching it back, what is the toughest moment to watch back overall?
Oh geez, the ending, the proposal, especially now. I don't think it would have been that hard 2 years ago to watch. I think I could have done it, but watching it back now, it's just uncomfortable. It's not healthy for me to see. It's not healthy for me to relive, given my focus and my heart and my attention to one woman now, and I'm setting up boundaries in my life to keep that healthy and good. Seeing myself propose to somebody else isn't a part of that healthy boundary, but I did it. So that was really hard for me to see, especially the place I'm at now in life and just how happy I am.
JoJo gets the raw end of this deal. JoJo leaves hurting, and I have to say goodbye to a woman that doesn't deserve it. I don't deserve JoJo.
Possibly the most stressful season of The Bachelor ever. So would you say if you regret over communicating, do you wish you hadn't said I love you to JoJo? And do you wish you hadn't said you could have married her?
Yes, I wish I would not have done that. That would have made, but if I didn't, what would we be talking about today, Lauren? I mean, think about how much more fun it was for everybody
And you know what?
else.
Your final three are all engaged or married to other people. So whatever you did, they're fine. So
yeah, I should take credit for that. Like I think I played a big part in them seeing that there's better men out there than me.
Now, 20th Bachelor, any advice to the 25th Bachelor? It's gonna be Matt James.
Yeah, you know, I say it every year and I mean it, and I think they prove it most of the time. They are gonna do things far greater than I ever did. And I mean that. I think these men who have been chosen have different personalities. They're gonna fall and not do things as well as I did in some parts, but they're gonna have their own experience. And you can't put this show in a box. You don't wanna make it the same every season. My only advice to Matt would be, one, have fun with it. It's gonna be okay. You can have some, I think we've seen recently in some past seasons, you can have some massive mix-ups and you're still gonna be just fine at the end. And the next would be to be yourself. Like, these women need to know who you are, to not try to be somebody else, to not try to be cool enough for these 30 beautiful women to date you. Nobody is, nobody ever will be.
Well, I've talked to you about this before, but you know, you were my first season of Bachelor franchise interviews with ET. I was at your very first photo shoot.
Hi, I'm Stacy, and I'm a bird walker.
Tell me how you walk birds.
Well, I walk them because I think obesity is such a big problem today, and birds can fly, but who's walking them? What if their legs get so fat they can't even fly away? So that's why it's important to me.
Well, I'd love to hear more about it.
First of all,
It's good.
we are babies.
Children. Like,
We have showed up with a glow up 5 years later. Wow.
yes, absolute children. So young, so naive. I would like to also take credit for the fact that you still are interviewing bachelors, so it couldn't have been that bad of an experience.
Ben, I don't know what I was thinking to think. I've just started this new job at Entertainment Tonight. I have this great idea. Let me interview this guy in character. I guess I was being true to myself. It was reflective of what would be to come. But what were you thinking when I was probably one of your, I might have been your first interview. Do you remember what you were thinking when I told you I'm going to interview you as stereotypes from the show?
Well, I think you can see it in my face. It's very similar to the look on my face as every single person got out of the limo. It's like, I don't belong here. But I'm going to try my best to react. I do remember in my mind thinking I want to be like witty here. Like what witty thing, and like that's never a good mindset to get into, is I want to be witty. And so I just kind of froze, not knowing, and I had no clue that was one of your first interviews. I thought I was being interviewed by somebody that was a long-term vet, and here we are. I was your first.
They sent you the newbie, but luckily here we are. And I thought your response was great. How was the ride? That's dry humor, Ben. That's great. You crushed it.